Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you follow the energy storage space, you already know the painful truth. Battery chemistry is the ultimate bottleneck right now. Whether we're talking about aerospace, electric vehicles, or even just our phones, we are constantly slamming into the physical limits of traditional graphite batteries. But today, we're diving into a company that is quite literally rewriting those limits, Amprius Technologies. We are going to unpack the explosive commercial growth they saw in 2025 and figure out exactly how their highly disruptive silicon-anode tech is making it all happen. We've got to start right here with this quote from CEO Tom Stepien. He highlights that 2025 wasn't just a good year, it was a year of massive, meaningful progress. Two huge metrics jump out. They expanded their customer base to over 550, and they actually tripled their revenue. This isn't just some cool lab experiment anymore, right? This is hard proof that the market is snatching up this next-generation technology at scale. So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the silicon-anode breakthrough, then look at how it's outperforming traditional batteries. After that, we'll dig into the explosive financial growth, the expanding target markets, how they're scaling production capacity, and finally, what's next for 2026. All right, part 1. The silicon-anode breakthrough. It really all boils down to swapping out one single, crucial ingredient. For literally decades, lithium-ion batteries have leaned heavily on graphite for their anodes, while Amprius tossed the graphite and replaced it with silicon. And the result? An advanced battery platform that delivers up to double the energy density of your standard cell. The genius here is that they've built a highly tunable platform. They can pack way more power into a much smaller space, and they pull it off without destroying the battery's life cycle. It's honestly a huge leap forward. Take a look at how this tunable platform actually plays out in the real world. You can see there's a really wide variety of cell sizes in their SiCore lineup. Because they've fully cracked the silicon anode code, they aren't forced to just sell one generic battery. They can optimize these cells for exactly what the customer needs. If you need extreme energy density, they can tune for it. If you need massive power output or crazy long cycle life, they can tune for that too. It's a completely versatile energy solution. Moving on to part 2, outperforming traditional batteries. Okay, let's look at the actual performance gap, because it is wild. Weight is a massive hurdle, especially if you're building a drone or an electric aircraft. Every single gram matters. Traditional graphite peaks at about 285 watt-hours per kilogram. Amprius totally shatters that limit, hitting up to 520 watt-hours per kilogram. We're talking almost double the energy per unit of weight compared to the absolute best graphite cells on the market today. No wonder aerospace companies are paying attention. But wait, it's not just about weight, it's about volume too. Let's talk volumetric energy density. Top-tier graphite maxes out around 805 watt-hours per liter. Amprius cranks that up to a staggering 1,300 watt-hours per liter. For engineers and product designers, this is a total game changer. It means you can either pack incredibly more power into the exact same physical space, or you can shrink your battery pack down without sacrificing any capacity at all. Now, here's the kicker for anyone actually using these things out in the wild. Time is money, right? A typical high-performance graphite battery takes about 30 minutes for a rapid charge. Amprius's architecture, it can pull off that same charge in under 6 minutes. 6 minutes! Imagine what that does for a commercial drone operator or an electric scooter fleet. Your downtime practically vanishes. Which brings us to part 3, explosive financial growth. $73 million. That is the jaw-dropping top-line revenue Amprius posted for fiscal year 2025. Just to give you some context on that, it's more than a 3x multiplier over their previous year. That kind of jump sends a very clear message. They have officially graduated from the proof of concept phase and are seeing massive, full-scale commercial adoption. When you break it down, Q4 was an absolute milestone. In that single quarter, they raked in over $25.2 million. But honestly, it's not just about the raw revenue. It's about how efficiently they're operating now. Their Q4 gross margins spiked to 24%. And that tighter execution led to a huge win. Their first ever positive quarterly non-GAAP adjusted EBITDA at $1.8 million. They are proving that this business model actually works. Now, let's keep it real and look at the full picture. They did post a net loss of $44 million for the year, but context is everything here. More than half of that loss came from a very intentional one-time impairment charge of $22.5 million. Without that specific hit, the net loss would have only been around $17.2 million. So why did they take the hit? Well, they made a strategic call to walk away from a plan to build a hyper-expensive, capital-intensive factory in Colorado. It was a short-term pain for a vastly better long-term manufacturing plan. Let's jump to part 4, expanding target markets. So who's actually buying all these batteries and driving that triple-digit revenue growth? Because these cells are crazy light, incredibly dense, and charge in minutes, they're practically flying off the shelves in sectors where performance is non-negotiable. We're talking aerospace, next-gen robotics, and defense. These are industries that don't mind paying a premium because the battery fundamentally defines what their hardware is capable of doing. Specifically, we are seeing massive, immediate opportunities in drones and light EVs. The drone market lives and dies by energy density. It's the only way to extend flight times and boost payload capacities. Then you have light EVs. Think electric scooters, e-bikes, urban mobility. That sector is seeing a mind-bending 160% compound annual growth rate. Amprius is aggressively targeting these specific arenas to lock in major market share early.
All right, part 5, scaling production capacity.
Remember that big $22.5 million write-off we talked about? Here's why it happened. The leadership at Amprius looked at their original strategy, which was building their own massive proprietary mega factory in Colorado, and realized it was just too slow and way too expensive. So they pivoted hard. They switched to a capital-efficient contract manufacturing model, utilizing proven partners in both the US and South Korea. By teaming up with heavy hitters who already know how to manufacture at scale, they get the best of both worlds. They can rapidly ramp up production using world-class automated equipment, but without putting massive capital risk on their own balance sheet. Plus, by building these partnerships domestically and with allies like South Korea, they secure a clear path to NDAI-compliant supply. And let me tell you, that is absolutely crucial if you want to win and keep those heavy-duty government and defense contracts. Finally, part 6, what's next for 2026? The roadmap for 2026 is seriously aggressive. They're projecting revenues to blow past $125 million, which would be at least 70% growth over their incredible 2025 run. But here's the best part. Because they made that smart pivot to contract manufacturing, they expect to shrink their net loss to under $8 million, while simultaneously boosting their positive adjusted EBITDA to over $4 million. They've built an incredibly lean machine designed to soak up all that market demand. So this brings us to the big overarching question for this explainer. Look, traditional graphite batteries are hitting a brick wall when it comes to the laws of physics. But Amprius just proved that silicon anodes are no longer just a cool theory. They are a commercially viable, highly scalable reality right now. Armed with undeniable performance data and a super efficient business model, are we actually watching the end of the graphite era? Are silicon anodes about to just take over as the unquestioned industry standard? With the year they just had, it certainly looks like Amprius is leading that exact charge. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this deep dive. I'll see you in the next explainer.